Dune 2, or Dune Part 2, is all fans can think about if they're fortunate enough to have seen Dune Part 1 on the big screen. Denis Villeneuve's epic adaptation of Frank Herbert's seminal novel has finally arrived in some countries around the world, leading to an impressive $36.8 million opening weekend from only 24 markets. That doesn't include major markets such as the UK and US, where it will arrive in cinemas on October 22nd. It's a very promising start for Dune Part 1 and gives us hope that Villeneuve will get to return to Arrakis to complete his vision. He's even got plans for a trilogy with a third movie adapting Herbert's sequel Dune Messiah for the screen. But let's not get too far ahead of ourselves right now, as it's still up in the air whether we'll even get to see Dune Part 2. Here's what we know so far about the status of the sequel, and fear not, it's spoiler-free for now as the first movie still hasn't come out everywhere. Dune 2 release date: when can we expect to see Dune Part 2? While Warner Bros. Agreed to Villeneuve's two-movie approach to adapting Dune, there's been no confirmation that Part 2 will happen, and, as a result, there's no confirmed release date as of yet. That's nothing to worry about though, as Warner Bros. Took the same approach with the recent movie adaptation of Stephen King's It. However, it does mean that there's a fair amount riding on the success of the first movie at the box office. Villeneuve has already been fairly open about disliking the movie's simultaneous release on HBO Max in the US, especially over concerns that it could affect its domestic takings. According to Variety though, its viewing figures on the streaming service will also be taken into account. As mentioned above, the movie is off to a strong start at the overseas box office, and should that continue, hopes have to be high that Part 2 will be confirmed. If that's the case, Villeneuve is ready to go very soon. I would be very ready to go quite quickly. To go quickly in a movie of that size, you still need to make sets, costumes, so we are talking about months, he explained. But if ever there's enthusiasm and the movie is greenlit sooner than later, I will say that I will be ready to shoot in 2022 for sure. I am ready to go, and I will say that I would love to bring it to the screen as soon as possible. In August 2021, Villeneuve confirmed to Total Film that he'd already started writing the sequel and sounded positive about getting to film it, even before the movie had started to bring in strong numbers at the box office. Everybody at Warner Bros. And Legendary, they are 100% behind the project. They feel that it would need a really bad outcome at the box office to not have a Dune Part 2, because they love the movie, he noted. So with all that said, if Part 2 is confirmed and starts filming in 2022, there's a chance we could see it hit cinemas in 2023. The first movie filmed between March-July 2019 ahead of its original release of November 2020. It's speculation for now, of course, as it entirely depends on how big the shoot is and exactly when it starts filming. But a release in late 2023 isn't out of the question. You'd imagine if Warner Bros. Wants a second one, they'd want it sooner rather than later. However, as Villeneuve said to Nerdist, he won't be rushed. The first film, I really had time to make sure that it was exactly the way I wanted it to be, and I would love to have the same feeling when I make the second part. Dune 2 cast, who's coming back for Dune Part 2? We can expect the majority of the cast back for the sequel, although there will be exceptions depending on the events of the first movie. As mentioned, we're not wading into spoilers for the movie even though the book has been out for almost 50 years. We feel safe in saying that you'll definitely be seeing Timothée Chalamet back as Paul Atreides, given he's the main character. His potential co-lead in the second movie will be Zendaya Chani, who Villeneuve has said will have a larger role to play in Part 2, following her very small role in the first movie. The impressive case for the first movie also featured the likes of Rebecca Ferguson as Lady Jessica, Josh Brolin as Gurney Halleck, Oscar Isaac as Duke Leto Atreides, Stellan Skarsgård as the villainous Baron Harkonnen, and Dave Bautista as Glossu Rabban. Expect to see most, but maybe not all, of these stars back in Part 2 if Villeneuve gets to go back to Arrakis. Dune 2 plot. What will Dune Part 2 be about? Dune Part 1 covered roughly half of Herbert's book, ending at a point that won't be a surprise for any Dune fans out there. As we mentioned in our review, this first half had to do the heavy lifting in terms of the world building. For Villeneuve, that groundwork was the tough task for the first movie, but now that it's done, Part 2 becomes an insane playground. It will allow me to go berserk and really create. I should not say that, but I will say that, for me, Dune Part 1 is like an appetizer, and Dune Part 2 is the main meal. He told Nerdist ahead of the world premiere, as much as Dune Part 1 was by far my most exciting project ever, Dune Part 2 is already getting me even more excited. That's all I will say. Thanks to Paul's prophetic ability, the first movie contained exciting teasers for what's to come in the character's future as he contends with his ultimate destiny, one that could be connected to Chani and the Fremen of Arrakis. Herbert wrote 5 sequels to the original Dune novel, so this might not be the end, with Villeneuve already looking at potentially bringing Dune Messiah to the screen as well. He's not getting too far ahead of himself yet though. "I'm not dreaming about Dune Messiah right now," he told Nerdist. "I'm focusing on launching Dune Part 1, hoping that will be a Part 2. Dune 2 trailer, any Dune Part 2 footage yet? Probably won't be a surprise to know there's no Dune Part 2 footage yet, as it hasn't been confirmed, let alone started filming. Sorry about that." Dune Part 1 is released in UK and US cinemas on October 22nd and will also be available to watch on HBO Max in the US. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, make sure to like and subscribe for more.